We now move on and look at locomotion in birds. Locomotion in birds. In other words, how do birds move from one place to another? The visual that we are seeing, we're seeing that there are birds that cannot fly. If birds cannot fly, that therefore means that they can move by walking using their legs. So the birds that we are seeing there cannot fly. If they can't fly, therefore they move by walking and even running. But there are birds that are able to fly from one place to another. What does that mean? That birds locomote in two ways, just like insects. They locomote by walking, running, or they locomote by flying, just like in the visual we are seeing there. There they move by walking because they can't fly, while those ones move by flying. Now I'm sure that you have seen birds fly out there. When you move out and you look up in the skies, you will see some birds moving, flying. But there are others that you rear at home, like the hens. The hens cannot locomote freely in air by flying. They can't fly and keep in air for long. While there are others that can remain up in the air, like the eagles, and they will fly. Why is it so? This brings us to adaptations of birds to flight. In other words, what features do birds have that enable them to fly up there, to move by flight? Why is it that you can't fly, yet that bird can fly? Because birds have features that enable them to fly, which we are calling adaptations of birds to flight. 1. Birds have hollow bones. Bones like those of humans. The bones have what we call bone marrow in humans. That bone marrow makes the bones heavy, making the whole organism heavy, therefore not able to fly. But we are saying that these birds we see in air, they have bones which are hollow. Hollow to mean it's a space inside the bone. That makes them light, therefore easy to keep in air and fly. Then some birds have bones fused. Fused means a bone is joined to another. These bones fuse, they join. Now by fusing onto each other, it reduces the weight. It reduces the weight. Rather than each bone being independent of the other, but for them, they join. When they join, it makes the bird light, again enabling flight, so that it can move in air, the way we are seeing there. Then some birds lack some bones, the teeth, the jaws. In your mouth, you have teeth, you have jaws. Now the teeth and jaws increase your weight, but birds don't have teeth. Take time, if you have chicken around at home, you may open the mouth of chicken and see if they have teeth. I know it may be hard for you to get a flying bird to open and check, but those birds that fly do not have teeth, thereby reducing their weight. Then birds have feathers for flight. We are going to see that there are different types of feathers, but the feathers that play a big role in flight are what we call the quill feathers. The quill feathers. We are going to look at feathers in details, and we shall see the quill feathers clearly. Then birds have a streamlined body, like They lack external ears. They don't have ears external. These ones here. They don't have the pinna. So because they lack the external ears, it gives them a shape which we call a streamlined shape. By having a streamlined shape, that minimizes, reduces resistance as the bird is flying within air, like we are going to see when we come to flight. Then they have an efficient respiratory system. Respiratory to mean that their cells can easily obtain oxygen. Their cells can easily obtain oxygen needed for respiration to provide energy for flight. Then they have powerful muscles. We are going to see that flight in birds is brought about by two sets of muscles. One set called the pectoralis major, another one called the pectoralis minor. Pectoralis major and pectoralis minor muscles. Then their forelimbs are modified into wings. When you look at the easiest bird at home, though it doesn't fly for long, the hens or the chicken. When you look at its limbs, it has the hind limbs that walk on the ground. Now the forelimbs are modified into wings, which it uses for flight. The birds have a good eyesight. They can see very well. A bird can be up flying, but it will be able to see at a distance and even dodge obstacles. Rarely can you find a bird knocking a building, no, because they have a very good eyesight. Then they have an efficient circulatory system. Circulatory, to do with the transport of gases. Therefore, remember, gases are transported within the body of an organism from one place to another, commonly transported within blood. So they have quick transport of oxygen and nutrients. For what? For respiration to take place, generating energy needed for flight. Then they are warm-blooded. Being warm-blooded, it means they maintain a high metabolic rate, providing energy for flight. They have many red blood cells, thereby transporting much oxygen. For what? Needed for aerobic respiration, to provide energy needed for flight. And they have the ability to fold their legs during flight. By folding their legs, it reduces air resistance. Actually, it gives them a streamlined shape, reducing air resistance during flight. So those are the adaptations of birds to flight. Those are the features that enable them to fly, to move up in the air, while other organisms are not able to fly because they lack those features, which we've generally called adaptations of birds to flight. Adaptations of birds to flight. But just like we have seen that some birds are able to fly using the wings, while others cannot fly. Those that can't fly simply move using their legs. Using their legs.